to Naruto fans around the world. I know very well who Pain is, one of the most influential villains in the Naruto universe. No, not just for their unique, but also because of his philosophical thinking in looking at peace and also war. Yes, on arc Invasion of Pain, which ended in a one-on-one battle between Pain and Naruto, the main character in this anime. In this arc, we are given more explanation and get to know more about who is a Pain. We also get to know about his past, which underlies all his views on life, with all the suffering, and his whack of sorrow, as well as his views on peace, fear, and also politics, all revealed clearly, which is accompanied also by some flashback stories of Nagato, Conan, and also Yahiko, which seems to force us to empathize a little with what causes Pain so cold, and be willing to do anything to the point of destroying even one nation in order to achieve all his goals. Of this story, we become more understanding that the person who controls Pain had a really bad childhood. He was a direct victim of the war, so that it loses everything it has. That's what makes him a survivor, and has its own philosophy of how can peace be born? It is because of fear. So many very strong quotes, and the terms of the message produced from the mouth of this one character. Some of the most famous are like, for example, Pain is a way to bring peace. And also other quotes that, as long as humanity exists, there will also be hatred. These quotes that bring this one character has a fan that is not a few among the fans of Naruto, although he himself is a villain. Yes, Pain is different from other villains. And actually, most of the other movies in the Naruto series are quite different and have their own unique. Masashi Kishimoto is pretty genius, introduces each of his characters, and also his creation, complete with background, and also the reason why these characters have the way, and also the thoughts he chose, as a belief, especially in villain characters, including Pain. We can understand why he chose the way of dictatorship. Yes, especially if it wasn't for his dark childhood. We also understand how desperate Pain creates peace, when a lot of people out there, with great strength pressure anyway, who attempted to oppose him when he fought from below in an organization named Akatsuki in a mediocre way. But like the laws of nature, honest people would shut down with all the power, which is owned by devious people. And the point of change is when it inevitably, he had to eliminate his own friend, Yahiko, by order of the ruler. Yes, the story of Pain very relate to our lives, because, which is why many of Naruto's fans are sympathetic and empathetic to this one character. Okay then. Then let's go back to the question at the beginning. How does Islam view Pain? As an entity, which depicts today's social life. There are a lot of angry people right now, confused and distrustful of the government, as well as politics, war everywhere, corrupt governments everywhere, and also all the injustice happening everywhere. How does Islam view this? Yes, to answer this, one that definitely is. Islam does not tolerate. There are acts of radicalism, even though it is with a good purpose. Why? Because Islam is very clearly regulating. And be very, very clear about this. Even in Islam, even war, arranged in such a way that even cut down trees. Not allowed in the war waged by Islam. That's how Islam governs its people. Islam also strongly forbids us to dream without concrete action. Even Rasulullah Shallallahu Alaihi Wasallam clearly mentions this in his hadith. Other than that, Islam prefers Muslims who have power and wealth compared weak and poor Muslims because they're more useful to change something in society. In accordance with Islamic idealism, certainly. That's why, if you are fed up with all kinds of injustice in this world, compared to having to shout from below and participate in activist movements that have no influence at all, it's better to go directly into government in a legal way, which is politics. Yes, it can be in a way. Come into one party, or create their own party to contest the general elections conducted by the government. A country is. It's from the perspective of the people, how from the point of view of government. How a government controls or even suppresses radical organizations without using violence and an iron fist. Yeah, just like pain. Actually, the radical organizations, like this Akatsuki, has an ideology and idealism they each. So they became radical for fighting for. Their idealism believed by that it's good. The best way to temper them is by inviting them. Have a discussion. Ask them what they want. And find the middle way of the problem. What I can confirm is, this solution can be accepted by both parties. Yes, I think this is the best way to fight. Like what Naruto is doing when he made Nagato. The person behind pain becomes repentant and eventually died a hero. Because Naruto promised that he would fight for what pain wants in its idealism and ideology.
成長した息子に会えるのは少し楽しみでもあったから。
It's inside the anime. What about in real life? Yes, in the real world, this has happened. Precisely in Indonesia, when there was a rebellion organization called GOM, which is the Free Aceh movement demanding independence from the country of Indonesia. But in the end, the movement can be suppressed with a discussion and a meeting between President of Indonesia and GOM leaders, which eventually resulted in intersection and the middle way between the two. The two sides were finally at peace to this day. Okay, maybe our discussion today about is Pain Nagato evil according to Islam may be useful to you guys. And don't forget to also like, subscribe, and share videos from us to your community chat group. If there are suggestions and criticisms, you can add in the comments below. End of the word. Inshallah, we meet again in the next videos.